Call to order?
Yes.
Okay.
So, thank you, Madam President. For attendance, Commissioner Cummings,
Here.
Commissioner Idebo,
Here.
Commissioner Kamish,
Here.
Commissioner Kaiser,
Here.
Commissioner Onasarosin,
Here.
Commissioner Adams,
Here.
Commissioner Budashevsky. We have a quorum.
Okay. First up is the approval of the facade improvement deferred loan repayment agreement for 3600 Douglas Drive North, the new site of Wine and Thief Ale Jail. Oh, minutes, sorry. Okay. We need, is any comments on the minutes?
I move approval.
Okay.
Second.
Forrest, great. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Again, I said that first part, but now you can remember I said it. John?
Thank you, Madam President. For the next item on the agenda is the facade improvement assistance for 3600 Douglas Drive North, which is going to be the Wine Thief and Ale Jail. So just a quick refresher on the program, we received a grant a couple of years ago, not quite 2 years ago, for $30,000 from the county to kind of kickstart a facade improvement program for businesses located in any of these 3 locations highlighted on the map. Previous awards were $12,500, which is the maximum award under the program for Elysian Playhouse in 2022, and for BNR Transmission in 2023. That leaves a remaining balance of county funds of $5,000, and we'll get to that in another slide. The assistance is for 50% of the eligible costs, with again a maximum amount of $12,500 of assistance. The grant is secured by a repayment agreement for a 10-year, no-interest, forgivable, deferred loan that would be recorded against the property. The reason we do that is we don't want people to kind of make unjust profit from the government funds. So if they improve the building and immediately turn around and sell it, they need to pay us back. Although the balance of the loan is reduced by 10% a year until after year 10 when it's completely forgiven. So this is the Wine Thief and Ale Jail property before they started working on it. So we have 2 street views on the left-hand side of the screen and an aerial photo on the right-hand side of the screen. I think you're all familiar with this property. You've had a lot of questions from your constituents about it over the years. And so this is what it looked like kind of at the beginning. And this is what they are in the process of constructing. So the architect is going to be working on more detailed facade, a more detailed facade design, but that illustration you see is what they submitted with their building permit, and it was sufficiently detailed for the permit. But there'll be more detail coming later. The floor plan below that, basically the left-hand third of the building is the addition, and in the floor plan, north is to the left. The site plan has north to the top of the screen, and you can see the new addition in this area here, and the existing building here. So the eligible project costs, based on the estimates they've submitted, are $42,280. And I've listed some of the things, the major things that are included in that amount. Now, again, 50% eligible costs would be $21,140, but because of the maximum grant is $12,500, that would be the maximum amount. They expect to complete this work in late November 2023, but they must complete the work and pay their contractors so that we can reimburse them in the second half of December, so we can then draw the county money, send in the draw request by the end of the year. So the county funding will cover the first $5,000 of the $12,500 grant, and the rest would come from the EDA fund. Now, we don't have any funds budgeted for this in 2023, but this would be more than offset by the unbudgeted revenue we received from the $200,000 sale of the properties at 3401 and 3415 Douglas. So this will not have a negative impact on the EDA fund balance. So with that, the requested action is for you simply to approve the deferred loan repayment agreement that's in your packet. And I believe, no, the applicants were not able to attend tonight via Zoom or in person, but I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
Forrest?
And there's, having driven by there, you know, it seems like there's a good amount of work left. There's no worry that they can get this done in, you know, less than 2 months?
Well, if they don't, they wouldn't be eligible for the funding.
Okay.
So,
And it wouldn't be like, if they don't hit that December 15th date, we would be on the hook for the county's portion? Oh,
no, the way it'll work is they finish the work, they pay their contractors, they submit those invoices to us, we reimburse them, and then we do two things. We record the repayment agreement for whatever amount we reimburse them for, and we request reimbursement from the county after we've paid them. So if they don't, that's why there's a December 15th deadline for them to get everything into us, so that we have time before the end of the year to submit our request to the county before the end of the year. I mean, they use the same accrual basis of accounting that we do, so if the cost was incurred in 2023, they'll count it as having happened before 2023, even if they don't actually write the check to the city until 2024. So I think we're on solid ground. I was very specific with the Wine Thief and Ale Jail about the need to get everything into us, get the work done, and get the invoices paid and into us by December 15th, so we could do what we need to do. And they said they understood. So if they don't get it done in time, then they won't be able to access the grant, and they should be fully aware of that.
okay.
Does all the work have to be done or just the facade portion?
Well, for the grant, just the facade portion.
Okay.
So for example, if there's stuff like site improvements, driveway landscaping, things that they're not sending in as an eligible expense, then that's fine. I'm only speaking, the deadline is only for whatever they're gonna want us to reimburse them for.
Okay,
That's it. That's the deadline, what the deadline applies to.
okay. One other question, and maybe this has been asked before. How long have they been in business? Don't they have a location in St. Paul?
I don't know how long that's been open, but the St. Paul location, I think on St. Clair Avenue, if I remember right, kind of in the west end of St. Paul. I mean, they've been there for a while. I don't know how long. So this would be their second location, yes.
Okay. Any other questions? No? Looking for a motion?
Yeah, I got a question.
Okay.
So the grant we got from Hennepin County was kind of a one-shot deal, meaning it's not something they routinely allow people to apply for, is it?
Well, I'm applying again, actually, tomorrow for next year.
Okay.
So, I mean, they needed to see sort of a proof of concept that we could run this program, that there was actually demand for it. With this project, we've certainly exceeded the funds they provided before, so we're going to be applying again. I have no idea if they're going to approve another round of funding, but I hope they will. And even if they don't, we have put, I think it's $40,000, if I remember right, as a line item in the EDA budget for 2024, so we can continue this program with our own funds if the county won't assist us.
All right.
Any other questions?
Yes, may I
Okay.
follow up? So I'm assuming if we don't spend the 5,000, they don't make their bid, we have to give that money back this year?
Yes, we actually already requested one extension. We were supposed to have expended the county funds by the end of 2022. We got a one-year extension. I mean, I could ask, and I probably would if it comes to that. But I say it would be doubtful that they would give us another extension.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions? Looking for a motion? Jim?
I move approval.
John?
I second that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I think that's the only thing on our agenda, right?
I really don't have, Madam President, I really don't have any property updates, other than you may have noticed that the New Horizon Childcare, a fairly prominent Twin Cities-based chain, is purchasing the office building at 7,057th, and they are going to be renovating that for a childcare center, including substantially reducing the amount of hardscape on the property and putting in some play areas. It's an old kind of 1960s, 1970s office building that certainly needs some love, and they're definitely going to turn that property into something much better. Now, it hasn't been approved yet. It has to go to Planning Commission next week, and then it'll come back to you on the 17th of October. But we don't see any reason why it wouldn't be approved based on our review of their proposal, and I think that's a pretty exciting development for the city.
It is. Forrest?
I have a question. Have you had any updates? I saw this last couple of weeks, a lot of like construction happening in the little strip mall right down the street on 42nd there, right next to the barber, the 2 units next to the barber shop, especially. I think it used to be like a cake place. They had like plywood up in the windows, and I saw them with the truck doing a lot of construction in there. Do you know what's going on?
I do not, I'm sorry. I'm not
Okay.
even sure we were aware of that.
Okay.
So we have not had any business inquiries, so if there is somebody doing work in there for a particular business, they have not reached out to us about what they plan to do.
Okay.
Anything else? Motion to adjourn? John?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Oh.
Forrest? Second. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Motion carries. We're adjourned.